In this video, I am switching out my spring kitchen vignette to my summer kitchen vignette. If you want to see my new creation, keep watching. If we're just meeting, I'm Denise Jordan, and I teach traditional homemaking for today's homemaker. So if you want to learn more about the art and science of homemaking, subscribe and double tap that little bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Okay, let's get into it. Every season, I issue a challenge to the YouTube creators and to the homemakers everywhere to create a kitchen vignette. Now, what is a vignette? It's just like a little scene, a little tableau, a little bit of style, a little bit of decor on their kitchen counters. So my switching out the kitchen vignette is a clue that the seasons are changing and that it's time to change my kitchen decor. What little bit of it that I'm going to change. And typically the kitchen vignette is that piece that I will switch out every season. There are other things though that may remain the same. The kitchen vignette will also give you a clue as to what it is I'm really loving right now. And right now, I'm loving fresh herbs. So for this season's kitchen vignette, they needed to do something on a tray because it's got to be portable. It needed to have some herbs in it, some kind of floral, could be DIY, faux, live, whatever, something with words on it, and a cup, a pitcher, or a plate. Their choice. It was up to them. So let me show you the inspiration for my kitchen vignette, and then I'll show you my kitchen vignette. Hang on. This is the lavender plant that I've got sitting in the front of my house, and isn't it beautiful? Just look at these just robust leaves, and right here, just today, I've noticed it's starting to bloom. So it's going to have nice, bright, kind of little needle-like greenery and these beautiful blooms. And I love lavender. I've always loved lavender. And that's one of the things that I also wanted to share in my kitchen vignette. And now let me show you something else. It's not heavy, but it's just big. This is a little herb container that I planted, and it too is sitting right in the front of my house. It's getting great sun, it's doing really well, but let me show you what's in it. First of all, right here, sticking up out of the top, is some Italian parsley. And then here in the front is some thyme, and I'm using it right now to cook with quite a bit. And then over here, I've got some rosemary. And this one is kind of cut off because I used a little bit of it for yesterday's dinner. And then I've got more thyme over here. And then right here in the front, I've got some oregano growing. So as you can see, I am loving herbs right now. So now that you know what's been on my mind, let me show you my kitchen vignette. My summer kitchen vignette. Ta-da! Since I'm loving herbs right now, I wanted herbs to be represented in my summer kitchen vignette. So my something with words on it is this book that I got from a girlfriend years ago. And I hadn't been using it very much, but I dug it out so that I can use it now. It's called the Herbal Palette Cookbook. And then right down here in front, faux herbs, but these are lavender plants. How odd that the pot that I planted my lavender in was a galvanized pot, and then here's these faux lavender plants are in somewhat of a galvanized pot as well. I thought maybe I had an ant on me for bringing those plants in, but I guess not. Thought I felt something on my arm. So I've got two lavender plants in here. So there are my herbs, and then I also have some florals, and I gave the option to do DIY faux florals or whatever, and so I've got three florals in here that I created a couple of years ago when I participated in someone else's DIY project. If you missed that, I will link it below so you can check it out. but there are 3 paper flowers here and in little glass bottles. And then down here is a little pitcher that I absolutely love, and I use it for milk and water and different things like that when I'm cooking or in my displays. And I got it from a girlfriend. I got it from Mary at Mary's Nest. She sent this to me last year because she knows I like little pitchers, like little creamers and pitchers and that kind of thing. And then to ground it, I used a black and white buffalo checked napkin. So here we go. Here's my summer kitchen vignette. Be sure and stay to the end where I share my thought processes and how I put the vignette together, and where I got a very interesting surprise. So now let's put this in place, and you can see where it's going to live. Right here on the end of the counter. And then I'll have my dishwashing liquid and my hand soap there like that so that it's easily accessible. And then that's all I'll put on this counter because, again, it's prime real estate. And then I'm also conscientious about the fact that if the counter gets wet, I can kind of lift that up and tuck it up like that if I need to, or just move it out of the way when I need to work on something. If you like this video, you will love the playlist. I will link the playlist below so that you can check it out, because there will be lots of other creators jumping in on this challenge, sharing with you their summer kitchen vignettes, because it's a way to get summer decor into your kitchen without breaking the bank. And this was a no spin, because everything that I have in this vignette, I just shopped my home and pulled it all together. And hopefully all the other creators have been able to do a no spin as well. That was totally up to them, but right now we're all trying to save money. So hopefully they've been able to do no spin or very little spin. So again, I will link the playlist below so that you can check that out, and be sure and leave here and go over and check out the other videos on the playlist. And let me invite you to come on back and see how I planted that herb garden in that galvanized container. And just so you know, I've raised 3 children and I've managed a home for more than 45 years. So if you want to learn more about making and keeping a home, subscribe. I can teach you to be a traditional homemaker in an untraditional world. In the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying you are not done yet. Click on the link in the comment section below so that you can check out the playlist for the Summer Kitchen Vignette 2020. I'll see you next time. Now let me just tell you a little bit about the making of this particular summer kitchen vignette. I struggled a little bit in putting the elements together. I knew I wanted to use this lavender cookbook because I like the fact that, first of all, it was an herbal cookbook, and I like the herbs that they displayed on the front. And since I love lavender, I also wanted to use this little faux lavender plant. But the one I really wanted to put in was this rosemary, but I couldn't seem to make it work. It just didn't seem to work right. And I switched out the rosemary. Then I thought, well, I'm going to use this sage plant, which I'm calling it a sage plant. It could be a faux lamb's ear, who knows. But when I put that in there, whereas I liked it, I felt like it was too tall, or the heights weren't just right, or whatever. So I got my husband, who is a retired art teacher and has put together hundreds of still lifes, to come and kind of look at it. I'm like, what's this? What's going on here? What's wrong? And I had this one in here at first, and I said, what's wrong? Something is just off. And he says, well, take this one out. It's blocking. So I took this one out and then swapped this one in. But there was something about that one that I didn't like. I just felt like it was too tall. And so, but I didn't think about putting the other lavender one in. And he says, well, why don't you put your other lavender one back in there? And then I thought, that's it. That's exactly what it needed. It's nicely balanced. And it's just so funny that that's what it took. I mean, it took both of us to kind of decide on the balance of that. But I always try to work with the rule of 3s, and that you have an odd number of... Oh my God! You guys have got to see this. Look at that. That is a squirrel that has gotten up on my table and has figured out how to get the lid open on my container of bird food. I cannot believe he was able to open that lid. He can't get into my bird feeders because I've got squirrel bafflers on them. But that little rascal managed to open that container. So now it looks like he's going to try to knock it over or whatever. I cannot believe that. Now, I got 2 squirrel feeders out back, so he can get his happy little self in that. But is he in there? No. Oh, there's another squirrel that's in there, so he can't get in there. This is just too funny. Look at that. My husband loves the squirrels. And I know I'm digressing, but oh my goodness, look at that. I might shut his little behind up in there. All right, let's get back on task. So anyway, if you look at the design elements, so we've got these 3 faux flowers, and they're in glass bottles. And this bottle is set on a little something to kind of lift it up a little bit higher so that they're at different heights. And then these are at different heights, but nothing is hidden. And then the other thing he said was that he liked the contrast of the more solid here, and then this was this was something that was a little bit lighter and you could see through it. And then of course there's my lavender cookbook with all of that. So, and these are different heights as well. So that's just a little bit about how I created that. I still can't get over that.